Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's upload, it's gonna be just a market update video, which there's a few things which I wanted to share with you guys. Now, here we go. I got a sale on Danny DaCosta. Last night he was going a bit higher. Now this one I had bought at around 195k, so I took the coins on him. Once again, with the PL team of the season coming up, I just didn't want to take a risk of holding him. He has gone up quite a bit, so no risk there. Now, in terms of all the informs, all the fodders, I still have them all. What I did is that I took some coins on the 85s and I sold a bunch of 85s. Now, let's be real, you guys are aware of that as well. There wasn't major profit on the 85s, and once again, it is due to over investing. Now, I did see a couple of videos on YouTube as well, where people that have no sense, that have never ever traded, they have no sense of the market, they were also invested into fodders, and this is why they dropped, or they stayed stable, right? Nobody really dropped, but there's not a lot of cards that really went up. Now, today was a day where you guys have made coins if you have invested into informs. Informs rose quite a bit. Debucci here, which we were buying at 10.5, he was up at 15k at some point. Shar, which we were also buying as a discard investment, he was up at 15.5. I did take some coins on them, but I'm still invested in those as well. Tadic right here, he is around 29k as we speak. The discard team of the seasons, they have not really risen, and the reason being is, once again, the supply was pretty big on those cards. Now, I did buy a ton of cards today with all the coins that I made. So let's just I'm just gonna show you guys something which happened, so you guys can see I've got around 15k profit this week. But here's a screenshot which I took of how much profit, how much of a loss I was in before I start selling my informs. So at least we know by this point that at least I made a bit of profit. I recovered, and now I still have a ton of 85s which are stuck way behind in my unassigned. There's a ton of players that I still need to sell in order to get to the 85s, which I'm not selling every single 85. I'm keeping the center backs because they tend to rise quite a fair bit. But I do want to sell the Bruno Fernandes and all those players that I had and the goalkeepers. So I'm going to work towards doing that. I bought a few Kamaras. Have a look at that. 91k for a Kamara. 94.5 with the shadow. So people were just panicking. And once again, if you guys, whenever there's a lot of content which comes out, people tend to take wrong decisions, which is basically panic selling a ton of players, right? So you guys can see here, Donnarumma 7.7k, 8.5k. People were just listing their fodders for ridiculous prices, and I was taking advantage. I was still buying a few players here and there. Even with Kamara, I do expect this to be quite some profit for me once again. So I am going to list him up at 107. I had bought him at 94.5 with a shadow. I do think without a shadow, he is a bit cheaper. So let me just take the coins on that. 107. So that's going to be around 9k after tax. Now I do want to see how much he's going for without a shadow. Once again, there was a ton of him listed on the market. I also saw, after I had bought, I saw a few getting listed at 90 and 89, but then again, there's only that much that you can buy. You can't really buy them all. So I'm going to take the coins on that as well. This is going to be around 8 to 9k once again on this card as well. 103. So that's some pretty good profit there. Now, I do wanna explain to you guys something. Now, if you guys invested in informs, you guys can see I've got a ton of Pablo Sarabia, a ton of Bonucci's. At this point, I know the current mid-icon upgrade pack is not hyped at the moment, but even though it is not hyped, people are gonna complete it. There is no way that people won't complete it, and EA also knows that. I do think they had planned a prime icon pack at this point because they know, right? Not a lot of people would do the mid icon upgrade pack. But the reason being is that so many people were invested into fodders that if they would have released the prime icon pack, the fodders would have exploded, right? If the fodders would have exploded, nobody would have bought FIFA points tomorrow. So the reason I do think this is the reason why we saw the mid icon upgrade pack getting released today, because they wanted the fodders to rise a bit so that they can sell lightning rounds. But once again, I do think if you guys have the 86s plus, at this point, I'm not sure I still like the 85s. Yes, they may rise, but I'm not all that sure that I really like them because so many people are invested. And once again, for every sale that you do, there is a buyer, right? There's always a buyer for every single sale that you guys do. So there's still people investing in 85s because they're pretty cheap at the moment. So I would say stay away from the 85s at least until the lightning rounds this weekend are over. You may buy it on squad battle rewards or on Saturday lightning rounds, but concentrate on the 86 pluses, especially the 87s and 88s. And the reason being is that those cards are less invested. And today as well, I had bought like 20 Koulibalis at like 36 and 37. I managed to sell him at 46. So once again, those cards are less invested. The 85s being cheap, some of them being 8 9k, a lot of people invested in those. So I do not expect people to invest in 87s and 88s because they're more expensive, right? If you wanna stockpile Laporte, you're gonna need to pay 25k a card. It's not the same thing as if you want to stockpile an 85 rated player, which is only 8.5, 9k. Some people bought hundreds of Berkeys because they were going for 7k, 7.5k. It's more difficult to make profit on the 85s than it is to make on higher rated players. Now, I also bought like 10 Courtois. If you guys did not yet get the opportunity of buying a Courtois, a team of the season one, at 80k, it's just a great deal in my opinion. I do think you guys are missing out if you haven't bought him because once again, the rating being 93 rated, it's something which you guys have to keep in mind that for every single big time SBC, this guy is gonna rise. Whether it's the Prem Tots guaranteed, this guy is gonna rise. So I do think this is a very good deal. In terms of the other players, like I told you guys, a lot of those players, the usable community team of the season players, were more buyable before rewards. A few of them dropped, but not all that much. So once again, I do think now at this point with the mid icon upgrade pack, the longer you hold your informs, the more profit you will make. The first time the mid icon was released, if you guys are watching my uploads for a while now, you would know I went on the market, I went unassigned and bought hundreds of 84 and 86 rated informs. And all of them, basically within 2 weeks, all of them went extinct. Because the fodders are cheap, people are using lower rated informs. But once the fodders get expensive, people are going to start using higher rated informs. And this is when you guys will be able to sell your higher rated informs and make some profit. But I do think you guys should hold on to them. No rush into selling them. So I wanted to let you guys know that if you guys have invested in fodders, do not be worried. In terms of the market, a lot of cards rose today. We can have a look here with a guy which is very meta. A guy like Saint Maximin, he rose quite a bit today. I do think a lot of people are going to build teams this weekend just to compete and get those good red player picks. So once again, if you guys invested in players that are basically players that are usable, I do think a lot of them will rise after content drop tomorrow. And they're waiting to see if PL players will be cheap. And once they do see how hard they are to pack, which is going to translate in them being very expensive on the market, people are going to start building teams and buying back players then. So that's just a quick update which I wanted to give you guys. If you guys have any questions, do let me know. Otherwise, do expect an upload tomorrow after the PL team of the season drops. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to trade. And if you guys have any questions, do let me know in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe not to miss the next video. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.